Earlier this week, federal lawmakers met to discuss the possibility of big banks doing business with pot companies. We're going to ask the father of the cannabis industry, Steve DeAngelo.
Steve DeAngelo.
Steve DeAngelo.
Steve DeAngelo. So this guy's name is Steve DeAngelo. He could be the Howard Schultz of pot. You've been waiting on this moment a really long time.
I have been working for and struggling towards this moment for my entire adult life. So I organized my first cannabis demonstration at 16 years old. That was in 1974. So I've been at this for a while.
My name is Steve DeAngelo. They call me the father of the legal cannabis industry.
And they would drag us away, but did that stop us? No!
When my home state of California finally legalized weed in 2018, I set out to see what was happening in the rest of the world. And I found out that the spark we lit in California has spread all around the globe.
And I always dreamed that a day like this would come.
In Europe.
Bravo.
I'm going to study a master in cannabis.
Excellent.
I'm so excited.
And South America.
Nowadays, it's not easy to find really Colombian golden around.
Yo les amo mucho.
And North America.
In freedom here in California, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing to me. I remember how long we had to hide.
Even in Asia and Africa.
Everything is going to be to make hash. So, they're looking for qualities, for strains that they have as much resin as possible.
Now you see this very simple, traditional, legacy way of making hash. From beginning to end. You don't need much equipment.
More and more countries are reforming their laws, each making cannabis legal in their own way.
The cannabis, at least in private, is going to be legal.
You guys are at the first legal cannabis cup in Mexico.
If you look carefully here, you can see this, the sparkling.
And I want to see it all. The new legal licensed industry.
Problem, they don't list any of the minor terpenes.
The traditional underground industry.
The lights will go on at dark, and that'll keep the plants vegging.
The activists who are pushing change forward.
We're fucking marching for freedom, man. Let's march!
The legislators trying to help them or stop them.
We are the cannabis industry.
Our leadership that this is ready for prime time.
I feel like we should follow the gaming model.
The researchers and scientists who think it may be the most valuable medicine on the planet.
There is real science here. So Charlotte is one girl, but she represents lots of patients who have problems for which marijuana has really worked for them. So it definitely has medical applications.
The hippies and dreamers who think cannabis is a sacrament.
Because we're doing it with a sacred intention.
This new world of cannabis is just beginning its journey to the mainstream of global culture and commerce, and I have a front row seat.
Hemp can be grown successfully, organically, and when done at scale will probably outcompete any other raw material for cost and quality.
New laws are leading to new products, new science, new medicines, new tech, and new attitudes. The truth about cannabis is spreading. Millions of people are trying and using it for the first time and finding it works. Decades of myth and misinformation are finally melting away. And the only thing we know for sure now is that however cannabis is today, it won't be the same tomorrow.
Used successfully by almost every culture on the planet for millennia, but brutally repressed in recent years, is finally coming out of the shadows and back into the light.
Come join me on the Cannabis Odyssey, a documentary series that brings cannabis out of the shadows and into the light.
Our first morning here in Morocco, on the side of a hill that's completely covered with cannabis plants. And you'll see I'm dressed in traditional Moroccan garb, and that's because filming here is really, really sensitive. Morocco supplies the entire continent of Europe with hash. It's probably the biggest producer of cannabis in the entire world.
An ethnographic portrait of the plant, following its migration across the planet and through the ages.
Over here, you can get a sense of that breadth. How many different cultures have used cannabis? In how many different ways have they expressed their connection?
Revealing its link with human evolution and tracing its complex relationship with ancient societies.
Amazigh is the free people. Amazigh is a culture almost like Celtic, which at some point seems to have spread from Afghanistan all the way across North Africa.
Explaining how elites of all types across many millennia have feared cannabis and outlawed its use.
But in 1492, we had the Catholic reconquest of Spain. Ferdinand and Isabella launched the Spanish Inquisition. And when they did that, one of the things that they did was to ban cannabis.
Examining the history of stigma and prohibition and how it still affects us today.
Today, marijuana is legal in most states. I received a sentence of 42 to 60 years. Explain that to me, how you can take another person's life, and you get less time than I do.
Exploring why people fight against all odds to use cannabis.
And the threats that he's been receiving, he's actually decided to leave his home, his livelihood. He doesn't know where to go, but at least to protect his children, he thinks that's the best option. He's going to stay a cannabis activist, which he declared himself to be upon leaving jail.
It's very cathartic and beautiful, and I'm weeping now because I've just had too much goddamn grief bottled up in me for too fucking long.
How will re-embracing cannabis impact our societies? Can growing more of it heal the planet?
To move us away from crops that depend on chemical inputs and genetic modification, to create a cleaner and greener source of energy, to help us build our homes and our workplaces and all of those boxes from Amazon without cutting down the last tree on earth. So if there was ever a plant to say yes to, that plant is cannabis. And if there was ever a time to say yes, that time is now.
Does the devil's weed actually offer a key to salvation?